Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Lastman episodes 13 through 16. So yeah, 14 wow, what did I almost say there? 4 episodes. Yes, I'm doing 14 episodes in one go here. Now, 4 episodes today, and that's because it's the second week in a row that we're late on this. We've had to push back Lastman once again. And once again, just basically due to having something going on the previous weekend. I've had a lot to get caught up with, and I did it. I mean, I got caught up with everything. Unfortunately, there was some, audio lag in the files. I'm sure you've noticed. Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys. Hopefully it was still watchable. Since then, I have, reset my computer, so everything should be fine. With the audio. It shouldn't be lagging anymore. There shouldn't be any issues with that. Because that's usually what you do when that happens, or what I do at least. When the audio is lagging, it just means the computer's usually running a little wonky, and I've just had to restart everything. So it's always worked. But yeah, so 4 episodes today of Lastman. Episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now we're already halfway through. We're halfway through the series, and, I hope things are going to really start kicking up soon. Oh, no. Because we've kind of just been getting a lot of build-up, and not really any payoff to that build-up yet. We know that, Rizal, or whatever it is, he's still around, slinking somewhere. But we really haven't seen much of him lately. The tournament is ongoing, but at the same time, his name is escaping me right now. I know it begins with an R. Oh, that is going to bother me. Give me a second here. Is it Roger? Robert? I'm not entirely sure. Hold on, I'll find out. Oh, I know it begins with an R. No, not Dave. I know who Dave is. Richard. I knew it began with an R. I was just getting it slightly off. Robert. No, Richard. So Richard has been taken by the police into custody for the murder of Creepy Mick Creeperson, the original, or at least believed to be original Heart Stealer. I can't think of his name at the moment. Jeez, I can't think of anyone's names. You know. I don't know why. It's just they're just not coming to mind. Eric Rose. And at the same time, the woman, the female cop, she doesn't truly believe, it seems, that Richard's behind it, but that he does know something. They're taking him into custody, telling him that he's under arrest for the murder and all, because it's obvious, as I said last time, that it'll get him to talk a lot easier. But also, it's still kind of iffy because, honestly, would you believe him if, he told you the truth in this matter? And what would he say for a lie? I really don't know how that's going to go. Now, I assume that in order for him to continue competing in the tournament, the Mafia is going to break him out. I doubt that the Mafia, and especially the Don, is going to let one of their competitors in this tournament be, imprisoned for any length of time, especially when it would interfere with the tournament. So I definitely think that if needed, he will be released thanks to them. We'll have to see, though. We will have to see. I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to go. Um, yeah. Siri's condition, meanwhile, is getting much worse. She's having more of those, like, I don't know what to call them. Those episodes? It's almost like the way she moves and the way, like, her body, like, acts and reacts, it almost kind of makes me think of, like, a stroke, but not quite at the same time. Um, I don't know exactly what's happening or what's going on with it. I don't think we've been told what exactly it is yet. Um, but either way, these episodes that she's having are getting worse and more frequent, to the point where getting these hearts um, is important, because I mean it helps make the serum to be able to help keep her in check for the time being. Howard is having to do more and more to get these, before he had to go to the woman who Eric was searching for. And he ended up taking her out, of course, with help from her husband, who committed suicide. Still very disturbing. And he took her heart. He took her heart and he left and created more serum for Siri. It's really disturbing, but in a good way. It's really well done. It's well written. It works so well. I'm really, really enjoying this, and I really can't wait to see where they go next and exactly what happens now that Richard's been captured. And so, we're going to do just that. As I said, we have 4 episodes to get to today, so... And plus, we're going to be getting to Voltron Season 5 as well after this, so yeah. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, these 4 episodes continued on with the entire thing of the boxing tournament. We saw how Richard got out of prison and everything. Not quite how I expected. But it worked out in the end. But the thing to really talk about with these 4 episodes is Siri. That was definitely the big focus here. Siri has started her... How do you put it? Her transformation. Her kinglet powers have begun to manifest, and she's losing control. Her first victim was a cat. Just a simple cat, but it still sucks. I mean, you don't want to see a kitty die. And I mean, we didn't really see it, but we know what happened. It was very obvious. So she's in this foster home while Richard's in prison and all. And the other girl there seems to be kind of a problem child. She seems to think that Siri's trying to take her parents away. And so because of it, she's doing these, like, horrible things, like taking Siri's medicine, putting thumbtacks in her food. Really horrible shit. And it never really goes anywhere. At least it hasn't yet. Because Siri does end up getting out after Richard's released from prison, and nothing is ever really resolved with that at the time. It might come back into play. In fact, with this show, honestly, I think it very well could. The show's already brought things back into play that I really didn't think they were. You know what I mean. I didn't really think the show was going to bring some of those things back, but hey. So the cat clearly didn't like her, and I mean, animals are known to have some senses about those kind of things. So she sees the cat under the bed hissing at her and stuff, and she starts to turn. And as these episodes progress, her turning gets more and more intense. It's just it becomes more volatile and violent and everything. She just becomes it becomes worse and worse because she's not getting her medicine. Because her medicine was taken from her by the bratty girl in the foster home. And it all culminates in this final episode. This other king that comes to her promises to help her, but in the end reveals it's like, oh, kinglets don't have friends. We just want to kind of kill each other, basically. He seemed to know about her power, too, about her, like, whatever specific kinglet she is. He said the Devourer or something. I wonder if that's going to... I assume that's going to come in play. I wonder exactly what that's going to mean. Like, how big of a deal that is. Like, specific types of kinglets or something. Or maybe it's like an Attack on Titan. Where it's like... It's some kind of power that was given to her. That she wasn't necessarily born with, sort of like how Aaron is given the power of his Titan form at some point. It's not something he was born with, but something he came to kind of inherit or something. I don't even know all the details behind that in Attack on Titan, just from what I've gathered from watching the first 2 seasons and all. But still, that's kind of what it seems like to me. And her powers are getting more and more pronounced to the point where at the end she ends up killing this dude in a horribly vicious way, but basically eating, like devouring, hence the name the Devourer, devouring his midsection. Like, his head and shoulder area is left there, his legs are left there, but she just like goes straight for the midsection. It kind of reminds me, funny enough, the way it happened, the way she did it, like, she kind of, like, lurched forward, like, with this giant, like, plant-like mouth. It kind of reminds me of, Parasite the Maxim, the anime. Because in that, there's this one scene where this dude is infected by a parasite, and his head turns into, like, that, like, flowering thing where it opens into, like, 4 petal kind of things, and he, like, devours his wife's head. Because he's infected by the parasite and all. And it kind of reminds me of that. And it also, in a way, kind of reminds me of the Demogorgon's head from Stranger Things. How that kind of, like, splits off like that. That's just the kind of thing it reminds me of, that general kind of concept. I believe it's called Tulip, it's like a tulip-style face thing. It's been done in many other things. I think it was done in Blade Trinity, actually, if I remember right. But that kind of thing's been done in plenty of media, so it's not like it's unique just to Lastman or Stranger Things or whatnot. It's cool to see it here, though. Ciri, her kinglet form is definitely creepy, and they definitely need to get that under control. We also find out that apparently Dave wasn't her real father. He was caring for her like a father in the same way that Richard is currently. And she apparently didn't know this initially, too. Like, she thought he was her father, which means that he was probably caring for her from a very young age, before she really had a chance to know that kind of thing. Howard seems to have known this the entire time, and judging on how this episode ended, we're most likely going to find out all of these details in the next episode. We're going to find out, like, what the deal is with Ciri, who she really is, why Dave was kind of pretending to be her father, basically. Just all of this information, I assume. And as always, if you guys know anything about what's to come, and I know a few of you do, no spoilers. I want to see what's going to happen by myself. But yeah, these episodes definitely focused a lot on that. Yes, the other things happened, of course. There was a lot that was going on with Richard and whatever his name is, I can't think of it at the moment, them progressing in the boxing tournament against some pretty interesting opponents. So, like, the show is going out of its way to create some really interesting character ideas with this tournament, which I can definitely appreciate. We also saw that the one dude, the Gemini guy, his girlfriend, Tallulah, who was also a good friend of Richard's partner, his boxing partner, she was apparently killed. Like, I think it's pretty obvious now after we saw what happened to Gemini that she was killed. The one dude that approached her in that room, I assume he killed her. And he was probably, like, just taking a form as well at that point. He killed her and assimilated her form. So when she walked out, we saw like a glimpse of a corpse. That was probably the real Tallulah's remains. Because this creature, the passenger, took her form basically. And so then when she met with Gemini, the passenger then took Gemini's form. And it's just like insane. Obviously the passenger is another kinglet. I don't know its true form, obviously. I don't think... I do not think that the guy we saw, the big guy who initially went after Tallulah and all, I don't think that was probably the first form. This thing's probably been doing this for a while. So yeah, Tallulah is more than likely dead. Gemini is dead, and the passenger has taken Gemini's form now, and is going to fight in the end. And we could see from what we gathered, they want Gemini to win for them, or in this case, the passenger in Gemini's form, to win the tournament for them to get the cup. The bad guys are after the cup. Of course, Richard is going to do everything in his power to win as well. And I think that's definitely where this arc is currently going. It's definitely going to end with this cup. But as of this point, after this, we have, let's see. We have like 10 episodes left or so. So I don't think it's going to take all 10 of those episodes to finish off this boxing tournament. I think like we're going to finish off this arc probably in the next 5 episodes, and then there's going to be the end game in the episodes after that. Where things really going to go crazy. But yeah, this is really getting good now. Like, Ciri being, like, truly revealed in her powers and all as a kinglet is big. And I mean, again, I kind of mentioned during the reaction, I kind of already guessed this, that she was a kinglet. I kind of already felt that she was probably turning, and that this medicine was keeping her under control. But I wasn't sure enough at that point. I needed more, and, well, we definitely got more. Tomie continues to be a really interesting character. The last we saw of her in these episodes, though, she was, Milo was driving her away after having someone who's working with or for him take out the woman, the other record producer or whatnot, basically to keep Tomie under his thumb. This Milo dude, I don't know if he's a kinglet as well, but he is scum. I fucking hate him. Like, ugh. And especially because I like Tomie at this point so much. She's a really cool character. She's legitimately really caring and nice. And she seems like such a good person who's just been stuck in these horrible relationships and these horrible situations. By no fault of her own, really. I mean, it's just sick what's going on. But either way, things are definitely going to come to a head with her and Milo. Things are going to start coming to a head more with Siri. We're going to find out more about her. The tournament's going to start coming to a head. This is really the turning point for the series. These episodes right here, like, this was the turning point. Everything before this was all set up. It was to really get us involved with the characters, get us to, like, really grasp the story and figure out everything we needed to figure out. And now it's launching into the second part of this series, which is definitely the payoffs. We're starting to really hit the big notes that the series is trying to hit, really starting to focus on some major things, on the big, like, status quo changers. Siri unleashing her kinglet powers. Rizal apparently is being at least known as the leader, but I don't think he is, especially when we saw him in that room. Apparently, something was happening to him and something was going on. I don't really fully know what. I don't think he's the leader, though. I really don't. I think there's someone else behind it. And just everything that's going on. The cop, the female cop, she saw Richard speed off. She's going to become an important player as this continues on as well. I think she's going to end up joining forces with Richard at some point. She's going to end up being an ally. She's going to get caught up in this. She's going to see one of these kinglets, or she's going to be attacked by one, or she's going to end up becoming one. Kind of like what I was feeling with Tomie. And I still think the same is going to happen with Tomie as well. Something's going to happen with both of them. And I don't want anything to happen with either, to be honest. Like, Tomie is awesome. I love her. And then this cop lady, I don't remember her name. I think it was mentioned. But the fact that she was taken off the case by this and all because of Milo and everything, like, that was unnecessary. Allowing Richard to get out of prison, reuniting Siri with him, that all was fine. But why did you have to, like, get her taken off, relieved of her duties and all? That was unnecessary in my eyes. But you can definitely tell she's going to continue to have a focus here. So it's not like that was just the end of her. No, we're going to see more of this cop. Yeah, overall, this was a fantastic set of episodes. I'm really glad I reacted to all 4 of them, because I feel like this last episode here, episode 16, was a great point to leave off. Because it gives us that perfect amount of hype for the next reaction. It's this perfect end point to just kind of hold off on and give us a week to really digest everything, so that when we come back, it's like, oh, we're going to remember where we left off with that. That's something big that we're not going to forget. That's something that's going to stay with us until next Monday. Hopefully, we get to it on time next week. We should, because I don't really think I have anything going on this weekend. But yeah. So, I'm really excited to see where this goes. But tell me in the comments below what your thoughts on these episodes and on the reaction were. Tell me in the comments below, and once again, no spoilers for what's going to come. Please. So for the time being, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles,